families with 5 kids. I am flying solo this evening because Desiree is still in Texas. She comes home tomorrow and we are all super excited to see her. So tonight I'll be talking about my anxiety / OCD. As far as my anxiety, I do not take any kind of medication for it. I don't like to. I've tried it and I don't like the way it makes me feel. But for anybody out there that does, you know, I have nothing to say, you know, negative about it, you know. That's your choice. But, you know, part of my anxiety is what causes me to have like not a panic attack, but high anxiety could be something like I know I have to deal with a situation that I don't want to have to deal with. So, and there's probably other people out there thinking like we go through the same thing every day, work, whatever. But, and you're right. But what I deal with when I have to do that is I get hives, I get cold sweats, my stomach is a wreck, I can't focus on anything but that situation, meaning I can't be myself. The kids could be talking to me, but I have what's going on in my brain to where I'm like a zombie to them, like, you know, I can't concentrate on what's going on because I have this situation I know I got to deal with. And that doesn't go away until, one, I just try to talk my way down and everything's going to be okay. And I talk to Desiree and she helps me. Or two, the situation's over because I had to deal with it. You know, I took care of it. So that is one of my anxieties. Another thing that causes anxiety for me is sickness. Now that the kids are older, not so much. But when they were younger, if there was sickness going around, I would constantly think and worry. Worry so much. As soon as I got home from school, I was making them scrub their hands. I take Lysol, spray their bags. So that causes anxiety for me when one of our kids are sick. You know, I mean, I don't want them to be sick. I start thinking, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta get medicine, you know, oh, you know, so a lot, you know. But with Desiree again, she helps calm me down and say, it's okay, you know, they'll be fine, you know, stop worrying, everything will be fine. So sickness, situations I don't want to deal with, those causes high anxiety for me. Doing YouTube causes high anxiety for me. I think that's why I talk fast sometimes when I do my videos, or I stumble a lot because my anxiety. Those are mainly the things that cause anxiety for me. I know there's people that have mentioned that going to a store that the layout is a certain way can cause them anxiety, or some being in a very, another thing that causes anxiety is I'm short, I'm 5 foot, and if I am in a crowd of people and everyone's taller than me and I can't see over anybody and I'm surrounded, I kind of panic. I really panic, and because I can't see what's going on, almost like I don't know, it just I freak out. So whoever I'm with, Desiree, anyway, I'll grab onto you and you know, don't leave me because I am freaking out. But back to my original story, people have told me the layouts of stores, layouts of restaurants. Matter of fact, I was talking to a friend and she said going to a certain grocery store gives her anxiety because of the type of people that are there and how big it is. Luckily, I don't deal with how big something is or a layout of something, you know. But those are my anxieties, and that's what I deal with that. As far as my OCD, it's a lot different than others. I don't deal with constantly washing my hands. I don't deal with checking the door locks constantly. which I probably should, to make sure my doors are always locked. But mine is more of a listing. For any of you that are out there and you have this, you totally know what I'm talking about. It's where I know something needs to get done, or I need to do something, so it's constantly in my head and I'm constantly listing it and repeating it out loud, and whoever's around me, and mainly it's Desiree because she's always around me, so she's having to listen and listen to this all day, to where sometimes you're like, look, Ani, babe, you need to either write it down on a piece of paper or put it in your reminders in your phone, because you're saying it way too much. You're saying it way too much. So one method is, I did write it down, but I didn't like that so much. So one thing I do use is I use my phone. I'll put it in my reminders at, or whatever. So with doing that, I've realized my OCD kind of gets better. Desiree knows when I'm not using that, because she'll say, you're starting to list again. You're not using your reminders in your phone. But like example, I can put, I need to run and pick up, let's see, toothpaste. And in my head I could think, that needs done, that needs done, that needs done. So what I'll do is, okay, Tuesday at 7 p.m., run and pick up toothpaste. So honestly, that helps with my OCD, because I know it's going to get done, because as soon as it pops up on my phone, I do it. And I can check it off my list, and I don't have to worry about it no more. Like right now in my reminders, I have, as silly as it may sound, to vacuum and clean my house. And I have a day and time when to start doing that. And as silly as that may sound, that eases my mind a lot, because some of you are probably thinking, if your house is dirty, just clean it. You don't need to put a reminder on your phone to clean your dirty house. Well, with me I do, because I'm not like everybody else. I deal with an anxiety and an OCD to where I have to put this stuff down, or I'm going to have a high anxiety. Like, there was an example, I needed to remind the boy's dad about something, but I didn't need to remind him right now. I could have, but I didn't. So what I did was I put a reminder on my phone, remind my ex to blah blah blah, and I put the day, I put the time, when it popped up, texted him, bam, it's done. So that way my brain for the next 2 weeks, I have to think, I gotta do this, I gotta remember to text him, I gotta remember to text him, I gotta remember to text him. And I'm not saying that, hey, we don't forget to remind me to text so and so, because I need to let them know this. It helped. It helps. For anybody that deals with this, reminders in your phone truly helps, or write it on a piece of paper. It really helps. I've been made fun of by Desiree because I wrote something on a piece of paper, and my to-do list, the very last thing was wash my hair. And she's like, how in the world do you not know to wash your hair? I said, Des, babe, just leave me alone. It helps ease my mind, as silly as it may sound. So anybody that deals with something like this, you totally understand what I'm talking about. For those of you that do not, you're probably looking at me like, are you serious right now? You know, yeah, I am. So, one more thing, and then I'll let you guys go. Something else I dealt with in high school was an eating disorder. I was not anorexic. It was almost to that level, but my mom caught it on time. I stopped eating. I mainly drank liquids. Sometimes I had popsicles, but eventually that stopped. I can't pinpoint what caused it to start. I just remember I did it. And I remember I hid it because I still wore my normal clothes. I was pretty skinny. Not, like I said, I wasn't anorexic. It wasn't to that level, thank goodness. My mom caught it, you know, and we took care of it. And, you know, my sister also helped me out by keeping an eye on me while we were at school, and making sure I was eating my lunches that my mom would pack. But because of that situation, it's kind of caused me now to where we're in a restaurant sometimes, and I think that because it's kind of like a mental thing. An eating disorder is a mental thing, in my opinion. You know, everyone's gonna have their own opinions. This is my opinion. I'm not no doctor. I don't know exact reasons why, you know. I'm just giving you my opinion. So if you're watching this, please do not take offense if you don't like what I'm saying. But because of what happened, and I didn't really eat a whole lot, I feel like it's messed with me to where if I'm in an overcrowded restaurant, on top of having, like I said, crowds and stores, things like that don't bother me, which I might be contradicting myself, but crowds and restaurants bother me sometimes, not all the time, because I feel like because of what happened to me in high school, and then my anxiety when I'm in an overcrowded restaurant, I don't know, it's my mind. I know it's my mind. I start, if I try not to think about it, or I focus on something else, I'm perfectly fine eating my dinner or my lunch, whatever it is I'm doing. But if I have a split thought about the crowded restaurant or whatever, I can't eat. I can't seem to swallow the food. It's almost like I'll kind of choke a little bit. And for those of you that have went out to restaurants with me and you're like, this girl has not touched her food, it's because I'm dealing with something right now and I can't do it. And I've had that people say that to me. My ex, Desiree, family member, why aren't you eating your food? You don't touch your food. Well, you know, that's why. And I haven't really told anybody except for Desiree and I think one other person that this is why I really don't eat in restaurants. Now, there's sometimes I'll clean my plate in a restaurant, but that's because I've been focused on something different to where I wasn't thinking about the restaurant. I wasn't thinking about my anxiety or whatever. Like I said, as weird as that may sound, I know it's all in my head, but it is something I deal with. And I don't know if there's anybody else out there that does deal with something like this. If you do, let me know so I don't feel like I'm the only one that deals with something like that. I don't have an eating disorder anymore. I love food. But that's just something I deal with in a restaurant. It sucks, but it is what it is. I try not to be that way, but it is who I am. So, don't think I'm weird. Don't think I have a lot of issues. I really truly don't. I think there's a lot of people out there who have anxieties. A lot of people out there have OCD. And then there's people out there that do have an eating disorder. Luckily, I do not. But because of what I did have, and on top of the anxiety I deal with, it's kind of meshed together to where I now deal with the thing at restaurants. But I'm perfectly fine. You know, sometimes I'll take the food home. I'll eat it later that night. I don't know. I don't know the answer. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. I just know it's what I deal with. And I thought I'd share that with you guys, because maybe there's somebody else out there dealing with it. Really, you know, I don't know. So that's about my anxiety and OCD. Took a little longer than I expected. But I just wanted to let you guys know. Desiree comes home tomorrow. I'm super excited. Go pick her up at the airport. So follow us on Instagram also, 2 Mommies with 5 Kids. That is our Instagram. Follow that. Subscribe. Please comment. Please ask us questions. Let us know you're watching. And we thank you for those of you that are watching. We really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch our vlogs and follow us and our family. And once Desiree gets back, we're going to start doing the kids and introducing them. So anyhow, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and continue following us. We appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Bye.